What's up, y'all? How you doing? Sorry about that. Sorry about the delay. Sorry. So listen, we're not gonna do a regular tribe meeting tonight. We're just gonna have a conversation, and I'll probably open up the panel for a few minutes for us to talk about what is going on over to the Kingdom Reign. Okay, there is a situation going on over to the Kingdom Reign. Carlos is king, and Carlos King's situation. Okay, so let me say this. First of all, I do have this streaming on both channels, but this is more of a reality TV show conversation. And you guys know I told you that I was going to really be keeping those types of things on my review channel. So even though I am streaming this on both channels, this is a members only chat on my main channel, ReallyBTV. It is a members only chat. But if you want to chat freely, you know you guys can go over to ReallyBTV reviews and you can say whatever you want to say over there in the chat. Okay, feel free to head on over there if you have something you want to add to the conversation. Most of you guys I know are subscribed to both channels, and I appreciate that. So just so you guys know, just FYI, if you want to do that, that's what that is. And again, only because I'm just trying to keep the majority of television reality stuff over on that channel, and because this is a dedicated live with that. So I did pin it. You guys can go over to the ReallyBTV reviews channel and you guys can say whatever you want to say over there. Okay, so let's get into it. And like I said, I will probably drop the link because we're gonna be here for about an hour. Okay, hey everybody, coming in. Y'all come on in. So, hey, my favorite substance abuse. Shut up, Cajun. I ain't doing this with Cajun. Hey, everybody, come on in. All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Y'all know that. What's it say? Let's have a real conversation. Let's have a real conversation. Exactly. Let's have a real conversation. So, first of all, I'm going to ask you guys to do two things for me for the purposes of this conversation. I'm going to ask, whatever the word y'all want to use, for y'all to do two things for me. First of all, for the purposes of this conversation, I want you guys to separate how you feel about somebody from what we think. I know. Let's have a real conversation. Exactly. That's Carlos's line. I want y'all to separate how you might personally feel about a person from the conversation. And the topic of the conversation is Carlos King, his production company, his shows, and is he protecting his I want to say staff, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Is he protecting his girls? We know that the majority of reality TV is based around women. Let's be honest, right? The majority, I mean, even housewives and stuff like that. We know that there have been reality shows that men have been involved in, but the vast majority of reality shows, talent, thank you, DB, that's the word I'm looking for, employees, talent, yes. The vast majority of reality TV, hey, Lexi, hey, boo. The vast majority of reality TV shows we know are based around women. We have the whole Housewives franchise. Even ensemble cast, the women tend to be the breakout stars or the focus, right? For Carlos's shows, 99.99999% of his shows are 100% about women. Bell Collective, Love and Marriage franchise, the Houston, the show based, the Houston Family, which it's all based around Black women. So for the purposes of this conversation, that honestly is going to be the majority of my focus is he protecting Black women? Now, I think what we can also accept is reality TV is messy. That is the whole premise of reality TV. We can also, these are the things we're going to accept. You know how y'all go into meetings and they say, okay, these are going to be the norms. These are the things we're going to accept. Okay, so we're going to accept reality TV is messy. We're going to accept, thank you, Dimitri, for becoming a member, boo. Thank you. We're going to accept, I lost my train of thought. Reality TV is, production is messy. We're going to accept that production creates environments for mess. we're going to accept that, right? Can we all agree that we can accept that reality TV is messy? It doesn't have to be, but we've had that conversation before, that people like mess, people like conflict, people like the back and forth, right? And we can accept the fact that production is messy, okay? He's not, his commentary after the show isn't cool. Reality TV is getting old and fake. Yeah. All right. Also, somebody said, wait a minute, hold on. It's a job. I be the yes. Can we accept that it is a job? So, also accept that negativity and conflict sells. Absolutely, DB. And like I said, I'm going to drop the link because we're not going to be here long. We're going to be here for about an hour. So I'm going to drop the link in about 15 to 20 minutes. I just want to get my commentary out. And then I'm going to let you guys say your piece. And if you are new here, understand you don't have to agree with me. We're going to disagree respectfully, but nobody has to agree with what I'm saying. And I'm always open to hearing a different point of view. I just want it to be based on the topic and not on our emotions. Because I understand that there are people we don't like. And a lot of times human nature is, well, we don't like that person. So then we tend to have a skewed point of view. So let me go back to the beginning and let's work our way forward. I'm not worried about you, El Teddy. El Teddy don't never agree with me. And that's okay. Because I love him anyway. And I know where he lives. And I will show up at his door. Moving right along. So, but you love me. You love me too, knucklehead self. So, let's rewind all the way back to the beginning. We're not going to go, when I say all the way back to the beginning, child, we ain't going back to Bravo. We know that Carlos King got, now I'll show up at your door. And could. We know that Carlos King got his start on Bravo. We know that he was a producer on Real Housewives of New Jersey, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I want to say another one of the Housewives, but don't quote me on that. We know that Carlos has been accused. We know that Carlos has been accused of that whole storyline with Phaedra and Portia. Now, everybody involved in that story has said that it was not Carlos. However, whatever. Y'all can take that with what y'all want. But we're not going to start with his tenure on Bravo. We're going to start with his own production company because now you are the boss. I'm not going to go back to stuff that he did that when he wasn't the boss. You are the boss now, right? You bring us this Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I know he did the stuff with Candy's husband and stuff like that. We're not talking about none of that. We're going to start with Love and Marriage Huntsville. Love and Marriage Huntsville was supposed to be a show about Black excellence in a undertapped area. And what I mean by that is, child, wasn't nobody checking for Huntsville, Alabama, right? But what Carlos successfully has been able to do is show us Black excellence in a non-metropolitan area, right? He was able to go into the deep South and show us where we see college educated, in most cases, HBCU educated, Black business men and women who are being successful. The show itself was supposed to tell you what it was about, love and marriage. And we all know what the premise was. The show very quickly was hijacked by this salacious marriage / affair / divorce / pregnancies / reconciliation / divorce, right? We know, I'm not going back down the Martell Melody Yellow Brick Road. We know what happened there. Fast forward to 2024. We are now in season. Lord knows what season we in because, child, the show don't never end. I don't know where this one season ends and one season begins. Okay. Let's just focus on where we are with what the recent allegations are, because Lord knows we could go all the way down the Yellow Brick Road when it comes to that. But most recently, Carlos has been accused of creating, him and his production, of creating an environment where possibly one of his stars could possibly have to be around another star who has a no contact order or a restraining order against them. Now, I also want to somebody put in my one of my comments, and I want to respectfully acknowledge that we know that there are levels to no contact / restraining orders. We know what they're not all the same. The language is not all the same. But for the purposes of this conversation, can we acknowledge that Melody has paperwork against Martell where they are not supposed to be around each other? And can we acknowledge that Socci had paperwork against Selena where they were supposed to stay away from each other? Again, I don't want us to get tripped up in the legal jargon of me saying the wrong word, and then y'all take that and y'all go all the way to the left. Can we just accept, for the purposes of this conversation, that they had paperwork where they ain't supposed to be around each other? Can we accept that? Okay. So we saw on camera from what production showed us where Destiny was trying to get Kimmy to get Melody to show up to this field day where Martell was going to be there. And at the time of filming, Melody had a whole no contact restraining order, whatever the right language is, against Martell that production was aware of. Now, was the cast aware of it at that time? I don't know. But production was. So what it looks like to us as the viewers is, wait a minute, that was messy as hell. That you were trying to create an environment where Melody shows up to film with a person she is not supposed to be around legally. Not she requested, which we know in the past Melody has requested not to film with Martell. We know in the past Melody has refused to film with Martell. But we're talking about legal paperwork where they ain't supposed to be around each other. Now, let's talk about what happened this week with Socci, and then I'm gonna go back to some old scenarios. But we're gonna talk about the Socci situation, and then we're gonna talk about what we found out today about with Marie Monroe from Bell Collective, and then I'm gonna bring up some other people and some other situations, and then I'm gonna drop the link. Okay. So again, feel free to join me to come on up here and join the conversation. Feel free. Again, it's a members only chat on my main channel, but if you want to join and conversate and join the conversation in the chat, feel free to go to ReallyBTV Reviews. I don't even think I have it on subscriber mode. I think you could just go on over there if you want to. I don't even think I put it on subscriber mode, right? But it is on members only mode on my main channel. And I will be dropping the link, and feel free to come up. Okay. So Gucci is a guest on Messy Mondays. I don't think he calls it Messy Mondays anymore, but I don't know. But we know it was Messy Mondays. Can somebody remind me to go back to the Dr. Heavenly Messy Mondays conversation, please? Can y'all remind me? Because I don't want to forget to bring that up. So Gucci spoke on feeling unprotected and not feeling feeling like she was tricked into filming with somebody that she had a no contact order with, that that production knew. Thank you, SLS Alliance, looking for both channels. Thank you so much. I think it's Mr. Monday now. Okay, thank you, Abida. You know I love saying your name. So I want you. So Gucci was like, look, I didn't feel protected. I had a restraining order, well, a no contact order, and production knew it. And not only did production know I had this paperwork, I did not know Selena was filming. Carlos's response was, you did know that she was going to be on the show. We know that Carlos has now taken that live down. A few people have been able to retrieve some snippets from it. Because Carlos does flag channels, I ain't playing it. But I will play the audio for y'all to hear, but I ain't playing the video because, you know, Carlos will, you know, y'all know if y'all say something Carlos don't like, baby, he will come and he will put a strike on your channel. So, but I'm going to let y'all hear it in a second. Matter of fact, let me get this speaker out. I'm going to let y'all hear what because I only have that quick snippet where so Gucci is saying she didn't feel protected, and she really felt she was, she felt some kind of way with Carlos. And I'm gonna just let y'all hear Carlos's response. Hold on, let me get to the right timestamp, child. Let me get to my timestamp. And shout out to all the content creators that I looked at that I was able to piece all of this stuff together from. I'm gonna shout out their names in a second, because a couple of them are people that I just recently found. So I want to shout out to you guys. Where's my hold on? Shoot, I gotta find my timestamp. Okay. All right, let me find my timestamp, and I'm gonna let y'all hear what Carlos said. Again, you gotta search high and low. You gotta search high and low to find these, because baby Carlos don't want nobody to hear it. He don't want the people to hear it. Shout out to Color Me Pink. Shout out to Legal at Some Point. Of course, my boo Scotty.
Love is Blind.
Okay. Let me go back to the timestamp. And Millie Chan. Shout out to Millie Chan. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all hear what Carlos had to say. It's really low, so I'm gonna turn it up as loud as I can.
Elena, there was no, we had a no contact order. And just to be honest, Carlos, I really felt disrespected. I did have a no contact order with Selena, which ended, I think, October the 2nd this year. And the producer was sneaking around filming her, and I just to be honest with you, we're gonna keep it 100. I just feel like I was on a platform where I thought I was protected, but I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that from your crew. I didn't feel protected, and it kind of confused me a little bit.
I don't know why didn't you feel protected, because at the end of the day, you knew she was coming on the show.
Now, let me answer.
Let me ask you first.
I understand.
Let me ask you though, because you talking after you.
Yeah.
You knew she was coming on the show, right?
So his response, I know that was kind of low, y'all, but that's the best I have. His response was, I don't know why you didn't feel protected, because you knew she was coming on the show. So I'm going to say two things to that. First of all, So Gucci goes on to say she did not know that Selena was filming. She said she found out on social media when she saw pictures on Latrice's social media from Selena's daughter's baby shower, and she saw cameras, and that is when she knew. I can't say that's true or false. I don't know, and I'm not going to get into the back and forth. But I do think his response is irresponsible, and I agreed, unacceptable. At the very least, your response could have been, it was never my intention for you to feel unprotected. I believe you were well aware that Selena was going to be on this season, and I would hope that you would trust me enough to know that I would not put you in a position to not be protected. Whether it's bullshit or not, his response to say, well, you knew she was coming on the show. So then he got very defensive. Exactly. And we now know that video is on private. It has disappeared. I suspect that he's going to edit it. He's going to chop and screw it, and he'll put it back out. One thing about Carlos, I do think he's going to find a way to spin it. I don't know if he's going to maybe try to bring So Gucci back on the show. Maybe he's going to interview his production. I do feel like we haven't heard the last of it from Carlos's point of view. Defensive and dismissive. Yes, I like that too. Defensive and, y'all got to remember to put these comments up. Defensive and dismissive. Absolutely. So then today, Marie Monroe, and again, I want us to separate how we feel about somebody. Do I have the audio? That was the audio. Do I have more audio, DB? If there's more audio, you can send it to me. That's what I picked up. That was the audio that I played. But I'm definitely open to more of the clip, because I got that from I told you guys I got that from I want to give credit. I got that from Legal at some point. I got that from her video, and she, I think, got it from Millie Chan. I think she got it from Millie Chan. Oh, no. It's okay, BB. It's okay, boo. Thank you. No, listen, I'll take whatever people have because, like I said, the video is gone. So all of us content creators are just relying on who got a clip of it. And I believe there is somebody that's sending that clip around. So with that being said, Marie Monroe today posted on her social media about her being in a legal battle with Latrice from Bell Collective. Now, I'm going to read you. Now, this lawsuit is not recent. However, I'm going to read you what Marie had to say. And I think part of the reason why Marie did put this out is because of what So Gucci said, to sort of maybe give some support or piggyback on what So Gucci said. Now, Latrice sued Marie Monroe. Oh, I want to hear more, DB. Who else is speaking? Tell me where else I need to go. Is there somebody else's YouTube? Not YouTube, but somebody else's Instagram I need to go to? I'll go to it when I get done reading what Marie had to say. So Marie Monroe from Bell Collective, she said the following. PSA. Now she's showing where her lawsuit was thrown out. It was dismissed in February 21st of 2024. So about 6 months ago, this was dismissed. But I'm going to read this to you guys. PSA, I stood on business. Case dismissed. I took the high road and let God fight my battle. This malicious, frivolous, and meritless lawsuit filed against me was dismissed. I never lied. This conversation video shown was aired by the production company informing the world I was being sued. She played a clip from an interview that Latrice did. That's real story. There was no follow-up to this lawsuit being filed after it was dismissed, and my voice regarding this was never heard. Even after the case was dismissed, another lawsuit for the same matter was filed again to harass me. I was actually silenced on set about it to protect the image of others. It was swept under the rug and made hush-hush after it was concluded the case was dismissed. The story went away completely. When I was initially sued, I was silenced and had to show up to film with an active lawsuit against me like this wasn't a real issue, making it a hostile work environment. Had I lost this case, this would have been story and aired to make me look like a bully. I get the bad edits to come off as if I'm popping off for no reason. Great for entertainment. It's definitely for a good reason. Season after season, I've been lied on, antagonized, and triggered behind the scenes, and definitely, and individuals run to the camera and cry victim. I understand the audience can only go on what is shown. So much happens off camera, such as me being harassed and bullied. And when the cameras start rolling, the audience don't understand why I have so much smoke. To keep filing the same lawsuit against me over and over because of losing the first lawsuit is insane and bizarre. I have taken the fall in another situation. I think she's talking about the Tamara situation. In order to protect the integrity of the show, but not anymore. At this point in my life, I have nothing to prove to anyone. Now that my legal woes are behind me, I can continue to focus on building my healthcare empire. Only the truth will prevail. Peace and blessings. Hashtag Bell Collective. I'm not taking up for Carlos whatsoever. His reputation precedes him. But why are they still signing up to work with him? We've all heard stuff about him. I believe a lot of it is true. That's a good point to bring up. Like, if it's so bad, why y'all still working? Why y'all still working with him? That's a good question. That is a good question. Well, Monique Winter and other ladies are flawed like all of us. This just tells me why these women have moved like they moved all along. Why they cut folks off. They can't trust anyone. Well, I'm going to talk about Monique and I'm going to talk about Winter and then I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to talk about Heavenly, then I'm going to drop the link. So this is what's been happening this week. So if we go back a little bit, and again, I know a lot of people don't rock with Monique. Y'all feel how y'all feel about Monique. But remember a few weeks ago, Monique did an interview and Monique said, listen, Carlos did me worse than Bravo did. She talked about her story being partially told. She talked about the editing. And when she said Carlos did me worse than I think there was business between Monique and Carlos that went bad. That's my opinion. I don't know that to be a fact. I have not talked to Monique. I haven't talked to anybody behind the scenes, but I have always, and I've told you guys this before. We've talked about this before. I always believe that the reason why Love and Marriage DC was delayed as long as it was, I think that Monique and Carlos had to resolve some legal issues as it relates to Monique leaving the show. Remember, Monique was brought on as a producer, and I believe Monique was given certain things that had to be resolved or dissolved before season 2 could air, or Monique would have been able to access money based on the fact that she was still an executive producer, depending on how her contract was written. We know that not all executive producers have power. We know that not all executive producers make extra money. But I do think that Monique, having been at this rodeo more than one time, I do think that Monique understanding business and probably having some very good lawyers, I do believe that Monique might have had some things that the average producer may not have gotten. And I think that Carlos needed to resolve that business deal before he put out season 2. That's my opinion, y'all. I don't know that to be a fact. Well, the second part of season 2. Remember, season 2 was broken up in half, and it was almost a year before we got the second half. That's my opinion. Again, I don't know that to be a fact. Because remember, Monique did start filming season 2, and then she left the show. That's my opinion. I don't know that to be a fact. But I just didn't understand. We know that Carlos will churn out a show. I mean, Love and Marriage Huntsville, I mean, damn, they just, but for Love and Marriage DC to have put on hiatus for as long as it was, honestly, I just think, and at this point, Love and Marriage DC now, I've heard rumors that it's coming back. I've even heard rumors about who is and who isn't going to be on the show, but they have not started filming yet. My understanding is that they're supposed to pick up the cameras after the new year, but I don't know that to be a fact. Regarding Love and Marriage DC, they were scrambling once Monique left. Hold on. They thought they could leverage her another season to bring attention to it. Yeah. I think CK talks to talent like he cares and will take care of them. Reality may not reflect that. I think Bravo didn't like Monique fighting with Robin, Giselle, and Candace. Love and Marriage DC, Monique was downright cruel to her husband, Chris, on camera. Folks have strong feelings about Mel and Monique, but I truly know they both had to protect themselves and circle the wagons. I think CK turned both casts against those ladies and hurt their images. What happened to Bad and Bougie? Oh, you know what? I forgot all about Bad and Bougie, but that was a terrible show. I couldn't even finish reviewing it. And they supposed to be doing season 2. Child, I tried to review Bad and Bougie. Child, I think I got to episode 3 and was like, I can't do this shit. Now, Winter, again, I know a lot of y'all don't like Winter. Y'all know I love me some Winter, but I know a lot of y'all don't like Winter, and I respect that. I respect that everybody don't like her. However, Winter has also made some, in my opinion, legitimate complaints about things on set as far as how they were treated as talent. Certainly, they weren't paid nothing. Certainly, they weren't paid nothing. At least according to Winter. And right, that's what I said too. DM is what is it? DMS. I don't know why they bringing it back either, honey. I don't know. Because it was terrible. I mean, Bad and Bougie was just bad. It wasn't even no bougie to it. It was just bad. Again, Winter has been very candid about her experiences. And again, I know a lot of y'all don't like to hear it because you made up your minds that you don't like Winter. But there were some things happening with that as well. Winter was unlikable, but I know she had some complaints. Yeah. I can appreciate that, Kim. I can appreciate that you can separate that. I can appreciate that. I have always, hold on, let me see what R&D said. I have always said that Carlos was benefiting off Black women's trauma, and I have also said, although I can't stand Marie, if you think for 1 second Carlos did give her that information on Tambra. If you think 1 second, on Tambra. But to be honest with you, Marie said all along that was production. Winter, I do think she was married the scammer Carlos did have legit complaints. I think Winter was embarrassed being scammed by her ex-husband on camera. The more we see CK, the more I start to think about season 9 of Roa and how we play and how he played a part. Let's not forget Candy said. Yeah, Candy said that Carlos was trying to steal her and Escape's story, honey. Even Monique's ex-husband Chris said Monique was made to look much worse than she actually was. He said her edit was horrible, and many things he said did was edited out to make her look evil. Ooh, Chris even co-signed what Monique said. All right, you guys. So the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to drop the link. And like I said, I'm going to stay up here for about another 30 minutes after I drop the link and give you guys an opportunity to share your piece. There are 300 people in the chat across both platforms. If you could please, if you have not done so already, if you could please hit the like button, I really would appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to either channel that you are on right now, if you could please subscribe. I'm on my main channel, ReallyBTV, but I'm also on ReallyBTV Reviews. Okay, the ReallyBTV channel is members only, but you do not have to join the membership. You can go over to ReallyBTV Reviews and you may chat as freely as you like. Okay. Chris co-signed, but they're still divorced. I don't think being divorced from somebody means that what I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not taking away what you're saying, correct? But I mean, listen, they can be divorced and still he can still feel like Monique was made to look worse than she was. That don't mean that they still want to be married and he still wants to be her, be her husband. But I think he can look at it and say, well, look, Chris is looking good these days. But I told you I always had me a little crush on Chris. Y'all know I'm a Commanders fan and I always had me a crush on Chris. And I'm also an Alabama fan. And he came from Alabama and played for so baby, I was side-eyeing Monique from the door because I knew people who went to their wedding. Like, I know people who know Monique and Chris and went to their wedding. And, baby, I saw them pictures from the wedding. And I was like, who this here heifer? If you were his PR, what advice would you give him right now? First of all, I would tell him to call his lawyer and whatever I think he should make a statement. However, I think that he needs to run it past legal first and make sure he's not saying anything that might open up a lawsuit, because he does have to be careful what he says. He is the boss, and people could sue him for a hostile work environment or things of that nature. So I think he needs to be careful about his language. However, I do think he needs to do something to stop the bleeding. If I were going to play his Olivia Pope, I would ask him to have a round table, but I wouldn't make it about me round table. I would tell him to do a round table and make it about Black female representation on reality TV, maybe bring in the ladies from across all of his shows and have a whole round table and let's talk about it. Let's have a real conversation, Carlos. But part of the problem is he needs to be open to criticism. He needs to be open to hearing people's criticisms without. See, sometimes people have to listen. People have to listen to understand and not listen to respond. And he has to be ready to listen to understand and not listen to respond. Marie on Bell Collective did not win her lawsuit. The case was dismissed. There's a difference. She didn't win. The case was dismissed. Even with Heavenly, he got upset with Dr. Heavenly because she said that the editing is bad. And he got very offended by that. Carlos, the editing is bad. And I find it interesting that you can see it everywhere else, but you can't see it when it comes to you and your platform. You can see it for every Bravo show that you talk about. You can talk about the editing, the storylines, the bad producing. You can talk about all of it for everybody else. Potomac, Atlanta, New Jersey, Beverly, every show, you can find a way to criticize. But when it comes to you can't seem to find a way to take in any criticism. That was a lot of Ashley. Again, I know a lot of y'all don't like Ashley, but that was a lot of Ashley's complaint as well, was the editing. And I think the biggest problem with Ashley, where I think Ashley made her mistake was Ashley started trying to defend what she knew they were going to show because they had already seen the episodes before we saw the episodes. So for the average person, we were like, why does Ashley keep coming down to social media? Why is she going so hard? Why is she doing these lives? Why? Because Ashley they had already seen all of the episodes. They had already filmed the reunion. By the time the second half of that Love and Marriage DC season aired, they had already filmed the reunion. They knew everything that was going to be shown. And Ashley knew that she had been edited the way she had been edited. And so I think where she made the mistake was that she was trying so hard to get in front of it and trying so hard to tell her side that I think she turned people off. And then when they saw it, they were like, see, she is a bully. See, she did do this. See, she did do that. When a lot of it was editing. All right, I'm getting ready to drop the link. And again, I'm going to let you guys say your piece. We're going to talk. We're going to converse. We can disagree without being be disagreeable. Okay? Sorry. Okay, surviving CK loading. All right, I'm going to drop the link. Again, if you're new here, you do not have to come on camera, but I do need to verify backstage that you're a real person. You don't have to come on stage and show your face. I respect that. But I just need to verify you're a real person before I bring you up on stage. That's it. That's all. So there's the link, you guys. You should be able to access that link from both platforms. Whether you should be able to access that link from either side. It should be yes, it's in both. Hey Cheryl, hey boo. Hold on, let me send this link to somebody real quick. What am I doing? Oh, invite. All right. So yeah, I personally, for me, again, I told you guys I stopped watching Love and Marriage Huntsville. The final straw for me was the whole Maurice Kimmy thing, and that had nothing to do with Carlos Child. That was just Maurice and his Neanderthal ass. Because Maurice and Kimmy were really the final two people on the show that I actually could like. Like y'all know I say I like Marceau, but I like Marceau from a point of view that, you know, Marceau is silly, Marceau is this, Marceau is that. I wouldn't want to be married to Marceau. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want to be married to Marceau, you know. But I do think Marceau is funny, and I do like Marceau. But Maurice, I really thought Maurice, and y'all know I love me some Kimmy, but they lost me. And the only reason I done told y'all, and y'all can judge me if you want to, but I done already told y'all the only reason why I picked up Love and Marriage Huntsville again, the only reason why I went back to it is because it really was the only show that was coming on that I could review so that I could get some views. Like if I'm being honest. So, hey, Bab. Hey, Andrea. How you guys doing?
Hello. I came on and hopped on mute.
Oh no, y'all good. Y'all look good. Y'all are already on camera, so y'all have, well, Andrew, you've been on camera before, but I just want to let you guys know. All right, what you got? So, Bab, you were first, and then Andrew, what you got to say?
Pretty much all that I wanted to say was Carlos, to me, has always given exactly what he is, you know. I wouldn't, if I were a person who were signing up to go on to a reality TV show, I wouldn't expect anything less than what these ladies are saying happened. With the person coming on to like Bell Collective or maybe Love and Marriage DC, the newer cast members, I could understand, you know, being disillusioned with it because they hadn't been involved in reality TV before. But with Monique, I'm kind of like, I don't know how you didn't expect this to go exactly how it did. That's all I had to say so far.
Oh, okay. Andrea, what's up, boo?
Hey, Really B, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, my love?
I'm well. I hope your holiday was blessed.
It was, but I'm tired.
I know,
I ain't
I
been,
know
look,
that
I ain't been back at work but a
joker
week and
hit
I'm
your
tired.
car. I know that joker hit your car, so I know you
And I
mad
just
about
want the
that.
insurance to make a decision because they trying to fight it. But
Oh
anyways,
no.
yes.
Oh no. Well, first off, I only watch y'all's reviews. I don't watch this show. I don't watch reality shows because I can't stand it. I tried Love and Marriage Huntsville when it first came out. I watched the first 15 minutes of it. That's back when I was on Twitter. And I remember tweeting about it. I was like, yeah, this Marceau dude, yeah, this is not my this man. I said, this producer promised us one thing that is not. So then Carlos King tweets me back. He was like, stick with it, stick with it. I was like, up too late, already turned. Sorry. This is not my type of thing. I said, you promised us one thing, and I can see with just 15 minutes that this is the same old poor depiction of black women. Told him that night. He tweeted back, trying to say something else, and I was like, I'm sorry. Um, but my thing, you have to be so careful what you say about some of these shows. These folks crazy, but but I will say this. I now understand a lot of these more villainized uh, characters much better now, and I have a lot of empathy for them. That interview with Soguchi really rehabilitated a lot of things for her, because she could, for me, in my opinion, she had been skirting around accountability for such a long time, and she did not take her accountability, take responsibility for a lot of things. And I felt like she did at that point. I felt like she did it without disparaging Selena, other than the thing that she said that they were saying about her. But that also wasn't something she said. She was using that as an example of, hey, these people that are being shown in these wonderful lights, these are the ones that are doing these things, because this person is the one who told me this. So I like, she even said that Selena's a sweet lady. She's a sweet lady, and this was out of character for her. I do not think, she took up for her. I do not think that she even knew I was going to be there. I don't think that she would have come if she had known that. I think we both just went too far. I respected that. It kind of rehabbed her for me, because I love Selena and her girls. Um, Melody. Uh, Again, Melody is a polarizing figure for a lot of people. A lot of people just love her and she does no wrong, and a lot of people hate her and she does no right. Recently, I've realized in my eyes about Melody. I'm from the South. I'm from the super South. Okay, so I get how a lot of Southern women act. We're gonna throw shade. We're gonna be smart mouth. We're gonna be passive aggressive. But a lot of the complaints that people had about her, oh, she can't keep friends. Oh, she's never in friends. Oh, this lady was doing that to protect herself, in my opinion. And she's been trying to protect herself without saying that on camera, without breaking the fourth wall. Yes, I cut you off, but I can't say I cut you off because you still deal with this man. And he used all of you all to watch me. He used all of you all, and he's told you all of these things that are not true about me, but you all believe it. And you don't know what's going on with this man, this producer in the background. I'm having to fight him. I've had to go to the network on him. I've had to do this, but I can't say any of this. So I just distance myself, and all you see is that I distance myself from you all, but I can't say on camera, or really even in public, due to these clauses that I've signed, these, no disparagement clauses, blah, blah, blah. I can't really say why I'm acting a fool like I'm acting. And everybody
Mm.
else is getting to write my narrative for me. You know, Now that everything is spilling out on all these social media platforms, in my opinion, um, I think, yeah, nice nasty. I see what but I think she became nice nasty, right? I think she became nice nasty because things would happen and it wouldn't air, or things that she knows are causes of things she couldn't say. But all these other things about her were being said. All these other things about her life were being aired. And she knows all this other stuff is going on. And none of it, if it happens on camera, it gets cut. If she reacts to it, it makes the show. Same thing for Monique. Monique admitted recently, she's like, yeah, I was acting a fool. I was spazzing out, whatever, whatever. She said, but these things were going on. She said, but they would always show me acting a fool and never why. It was just, she said, so it came off. She said, I understand why people felt like that about me how they did. Because it came off like this is a good dude, and all she is doing is trashing him and fussing at him, and she hates him. Oh my God. And she said, we this could have been going on for like an hour or two. And they would show just the times I'm going, and they would never show why, or what was going on or what led to it. She said, and if anybody would stop to pay attention, there was no context to anything. Winter um, corroborated that tonight on another content creator. I was riding home, and because all this is in the algorithm, it popped up, and I was like, okay, I'm driving home. I'm gonna listen. So I'm listening to her talk, and I was like, wow, this makes so much sense. She, like she said, everyone knows that she and Monique did not end on the best of terms at the end. But she corroborated her. She backed her up. She said that there were so many things going on in the background with her. She said Monique got a bad at it. All of these women, and like I said, some of these women like each other and don't like each other. With all the things that went on with So Gucci, like she said, they wouldn't even let her not film the next day and told her, no, y'all go film that Gucci not. That's what y'all do. Go film Gucci not. I fell out laughing, but I got what she was saying, you know. But even with her and Selena, you would think those two would be the ones that would really have something horrible to say about each other. Not that she would take up for Selena and say this is not Selena's fault. Hey, Selena didn't know I was there. She didn't do this on purpose. I don't think she would ever shown up if she wasn't there. Hey, somebody that was with her that day said she told them, hey, I didn't know she was gonna be here. She didn't have to do that. If she wanted to rehab and clean up her own image, she could have just stuck to her own herself and let Selena be in for herself, but she didn't do that. Winter hasn't
Yeah.
done that. Mel hasn't even done that. Even when it comes to things with other people, that lady, again, I like her. However, I don't think that she's infallible or she doesn't have flaws. She's extremely flawed. I wish everybody could say that out loud. But my point about that is that lady could have said and have shown and revealed a whole heap of things about these people. She may have alluded to a lot of these things. She may have referenced and put, but she could have blown all of these folks out of the water by now. And the fact that she still hasn't says something about her to me. I might be nice, nasty, but I'm not. I'm not evil.
You talking about Melody?
Yeah, like I said, she could have. Yeah, she could have blown a lot of these people out of the water years ago. You can't tell me that this woman does not have something to blow all of this stuff up. And the fact that she's had enough discipline and reserve to not release everything that she has, or either leak it and have it released, or just get on live for 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, and vomit up everything she knows. Because this woman probably knows personal, she probably knows the mistress's names, middle names, and social security numbers. She probably knows a lot of the Huntsville is small, a lot of the financial dealings. She probably knows right into a lot of those things. She probably knows, familial things. She's
I think
referenced a
she's
lot
smarter
of
than
it.
that.
But my thing is, if she's the person that they say that she is the root of the problem, you see what I'm saying? I think the root of the problem is Carlos. I think Carlos, when he gets mad with these women, or especially if you look at Monique and Melody, their scenarios, they're really similar. I think you're right, really, B. I think when you said that there were some business things that went sour that had to be worked out, but when you saw them being worked out, what happened? Everybody turned on them, and the scenario around them, the narrative around them became more and more negative. I don't think that that was a coincidence. I think that he was telling the both of these cast things to turn them against those women. I think that he was putting nuggets of things out into the public about these women to turn them against those women. I think all of those things happened. And because it's what happened with Candy. He did the same thing with her. When she started talking about him, bad stuff started coming out about her. Todd is messing around. She got a dungeon. All of this craziness. Each one, Winter, all of this craziness about Winter would come out. But if you listen to Winter, that's the one he need to be afraid of because she is not scared. But this with Marie was horrible. You put on television, this lady is a business owner. She's an entrepreneur, which means there's no company backing her pay. She got to make her pay. Her image is part of her earning potential. And you put on television that she's being sued, and for months you just let that sit out there, and you never once cleared up that it was dismissed as frivolous. Never
Now
once.
I do want to say that I do want to address that. I do think that was sort of foul. That again, this is only this is Marie's version of the story, so I'll say we have her version of the story, which is she was not allowed to speak on it, and even after it was dismissed, it was never revisited, even though they did post that she was being sued. And I do find that to be foul. Like if you're gonna
That's so
tell the story, tell
foul.
both sides of the story.
Yeah, again, and I don't agree when everybody says, "Oh, this is what they signed up for." You sign up to give the parts of things that you agree to give, right? You sign up but what you don't sign up for a producer to turn your coworkers against you. You don't sign up for your producer to twist narratives and edit things to make things appear to be something that they're not. You do not sign up for that. Whether they should have trusted him or not is a different thing. But we're talking about what they signed up for. They didn't. No one signs up for that part. Um, yeah, Mel did get in front of with all of her stuff, and she put it out there, and she has, reaped the benefits, and and the bad things from it too. So I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is all of that, if she signed up to put all of her stuff out there like that, then so did the other people. And to protect the others and exploit hers, whether she's willing to exploit it or not, this man has been convicted, is appealing. This man has an order of protection because he clearly has been watching her and has this doesn't just start overnight. This has been happening. And that's why inform my opinion of that's why she cuts people off like she does so quickly and so completely. If people are like, well, I mean, people can be friends or whatever, not in this scenario. If this man is watching me, remember he sent enough flowers to fill up her garage one time, and when she didn't want it back, he got mad at her because the flowers didn't work. If you're telling me that you're dealing with the man that I'm scared of, that is doing all these things to me, threatening to release videos on me, calling me incessantly, won't leave me alone, clearly is following me or having me followed. I can't deal with you because I can't trust that you won't tell him something, even if you don't think you're telling him something. Something you say may put me in danger, so I can't fool with you. But you can't say that
So
on
okay,
on, on
so let's
TV.
pivot a little bit. That's a good point. I think a lot of times people forget that reality TV is still a job. These are still employers. These are still employees. Does Carlos have a responsibility as the boss to protect his cast? So if in
Absolutely.
the case in Gucci's case, in Melody's case, even in the case of a lawsuit, if one cast member has sued another cast member, what is the responsibility of production to make them film around each other? What can they say or what can they not say? I mean, what do you guys, Bap, I'm gonna start with you. What do you think about that?
I think to an extent, and I think a lot of it depends on whatever is said in the contract.
That's true. That's valid. Contract is valid.
But I also think the law is going to trump your contract. If there's a no contact order, there's a no contact order. If I go on my corporate job today and I produce a no contact order, um, and it's signed off, it has been adjudged that I have a no contact order, then my job needs to do what it needs to do to make sure that I am not placed in situations that violate that contact, because the contact order is not there because I just wouldn't ask for it. It's there for my safety. Whether people believe so Gucci was the aggressor or not, a judge decided these two women need not to contact each other or be in each other's presence for a year. That was what the judge, and up to this point, these women were abiding by that. They did not break this contact order on their own. They were tricked into breaking this contact order. I feel like if they were doing it, trying to break it themselves, or if Selena was trying, but the victim, as a judge by the court, the victim is saying that's not so. This lady was not trying. She was trying to. That woman could have gone to jail for that, for something she didn't even know she was doing. But an employer does have a duty of care to their employees. They do. If someone makes you aware of a dangerous situation, then you have to do what is legally required of you to keep them safe.
I agree. I said that y'all know I said that the other night, that I feel like, again, I don't want to get caught up in the legalese of no contact versus restraining order or what have you. If you have a legal document that says you're not supposed to be around this person, y'all can still work together and not be in each other's presence. Like, there was no reason why. And even when So Gucci said, you know what, I'm leaving, the fact that, and then Carlos even said, well, you came back. The fact that you had Leticia, chasing that woman down the hall saying, come on, you can stay, you can stay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you leaving. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I feel like that was production making her try to convince that woman to stay. And we only know what they showed us. We do not know what that whole scene was. We do not know what that whole conversation was. And yes, she did choose to come back. But it's the point that you created this situation, and then you sort of, I don't want to say bullied her, because you didn't bully her into it, but you sort of created a situation for her to stay. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion on it.
What do you
think
I've
dropped
about...
the link a few times, y'all. Hold on, Bap, I'm gonna let you say. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna drop the link a few times. I'm gonna let Bap and I'm gonna let Andrew have the final word, and we're gonna get up off of here. I done dropped it a few times, and that's okay. Nobody has to come up, but I'm just letting y'all know I did drop it. Okay, go ahead.
That was Andrew speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andrew.
I was asking Bap what she thought.
What did I think about what?
About what Really B just said, because I think Really B hit the nail on the head when she said, when there's a legal, and there's a legal document in place, you have to abide by that.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. Yeah, I wasn't saying that when I was saying what I was saying, I don't necessarily think that that particular situation is one where the network did their due diligence. I was just speaking in general. So I'm not saying that if there's some sort of legal order in place that the company that Carlos King and whoever in the world else shouldn't do what they can to protect their employees. They should, obviously, right? I was just speaking in general. When you sign up for these reality TV shows, you have to do what you can to protect yourself, and realize that these people are going to do what they can to get content, and you have to read those contracts.
I think that's the next discussion that we all should have. If people were able to remove their positive or negative, because some of the toxic positivity towards some of these people is just as bad as some of the toxic negativity, towards some of these characters on this play. If people could just if they could just remove that from it. And we need to have a discussion around, one, the depiction that this man has been doing for years of Black women.
I wouldn't single him out specifically, though. I would say reality TV overall, because by its nature, most reality TV is exploitative, right? You could put that down to Carlos King, Bravo, and all of his different shows.
I totally
everything on Zeus.
Yeah, exactly. I want that shut down.
And what's that new one now? That's TV. Yeah, so
Zeus Jr.
They're overall it's exploitative, and it's to the point where, well, not to the point where, because you had Bad Girls Club back in the day. A lot of those things are actually putting people in physical harm, and so there's a discussion to be had.
But the reason I said him is because of like his very bad, awful, terrible week that he's had.
Right.
So that's why I was saying. But and start the conversation with him, since his is more recent and he has so many people over so many years that have come out and identified him specifically as being an issue, right? I'm just
Mm,
thinking, I'm thinking, um, what is this negative and stereotypical trope like depiction of black women? What harm is this doing? And then overall to black women, and then narrow it in to these women specifically. These women's lives have been horribly damaged, and I'm not just talking about image wise. Some of these families have been broken up. Some of these people's mental health has been negatively affected. Many of these women have said they've had to go into therapy. There are protective orders in place. Some of these women's lives are now in danger, not just by the people from the shows, but now the public. Um, I really do think that he cares not about any of that. And I
they
think
shouldn't
it's,
expect him to
yeah,
though.
but I think it's also because he does not understand the culture. If
Who,
you don't
I think
Carlos?
he
understand
understands
it,
it.
I don't.
I
The
think
reason,
he I think he understands it and exploits it.
what me,
I'm
what
about
I
to say
mean,
what. Okay, go ahead.
what
I'm
I'm,
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so what I meant by that was, when I say he doesn't understand the culture, I think okay, maybe not understand is a word. He doesn't appreciate and respect the culture. I think that he sees it as a means to an end for himself. He
I can
doesn't
agree with
feel
that.
any obligation to protect it and to strengthen it. He sees it as something that he can profit from, but not be a part of. He does. I think he does not see himself as a member of the community as a whole, but he is amongst that community. So he doesn't care about the damage he does to it.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna sort of throw it back. And I've said this before, but I'm gonna sort of throw it back a little bit. What part? How much response? First of all, Oprah does not own the own network, so Cajun, this ain't
Yeah.
on Oprah. But how much of the responsibility falls on the people who choose to be on the show? Because here's the reality of the situation: Mel could have left the show.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos could have fired Martell. So Gucci could have not come back. You know what I mean? Marie didn't have to come back. And I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just throwing that out there. How much responsibility goes on to the person to say, you know what? This was a great opportunity, but it's not worth what I'm giving up. I'm
I
To
just
think
me, a good
throwing
chunk
that out there.
is oh
I think a
sorry.
hundred, a hundred. I think it's 100, 100. I think everyone should take 100% of responsibility of what occurs for them and to them, and they need to understand that when enough is enough, and to make that, have hard lines in the sand. I don't know why these people, I'm sure in their minds that they have valid, righteous reasons why they haven't left. I don't know what those are. I don't understand it, because I too think that by this point, Melody should have left the show. But then on the flip side,
She's
Monique
profiting too much
did.
from it to leave.
But on the flip side, Monique did. She was like, I don't care what y'all say. I'm not doing this. I know where this is going. This has happened to me before. Okay, I gave it a try. I got gooped, but you're not gonna goop me again. I'm out. I respect that. Same with Winter. I'm out. And you're not gonna silence me. You're not gonna muzzle me. Candy, it took her years before she told the truth on this man. And that's why I was saying about the culture. But in my opinion, the character of this man is so suspect, that you would be in business with someone's husband, and that have your business centered in their building that they own, be around them every day, do business with them, and then be shopping their whole life story behind their back and trying to make money off of them, and then lie to the public and say you didn't do it when they got proof that you did.
There isn't
That
anything
tells
that
you something
Carlos
about that
King
man.
yeah, there isn't anything that Carlos King has presented to the world that would make me be like that sort of thing that he did is unexpected. It seems like it's completely in line with his behavior in the past. I did want to say though, as
Mhm.
far as like the share of the responsibility, I feel like it mostly lies on production when they first come onto a show, but then as the years progress,
Right.
that's more of a 50-50 type thing to me.
Once you figure it out, you figure it out, right? So what?
Exactly.
So what do you think? Like when you said about him, um, the production of the show, and then the character of him. What do you think about the responsibility of the audience? Because
We definitely need to hold ourselves accountable for this craziness that we watch, in my opinion.
if the more the audience and our culture tunes into this type of thing. I'm not saying that thing there shouldn't be drama, but there's a difference between drama and toxicity.
Hmm.
And the things that this man has done in these people's lives, in my opinion, should be a bridge too far. We've got to find some kind of boundary
Excuse me.
that we don't cross, because this is this is so prevalent now. But we can no longer say that this doesn't appear intentional,
Yeah,
that
and
this is
there's
just
a reason why
happenstance.
a
This is
Carlos King would.
intentional.
Yeah, there's a reason why a Carlos King or whichever reality TV producer would
Excuse me.
find a show like Bell Collective or something to exploit those type of people from. It's because there's an audience for it.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
And he's
So I'm gonna
finding
say
more and
this.
more obscure casts, more and more obscure casts that don't know as much and may not be as informed as others. Because ain't nobody in Mississippi that you can reach out to and talk to find out, the ins and outs of reality TV. Same thing with Alabama. But if you can't do that in Atlanta with him no more, you can't
Right.
do that in DC with him no more.
I'm gonna say this. I know for me, and again, I know we have people coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, for me, I know. I think, and I've said this to you guys before. The fans of Love and Marriage Huntsville have become so toxic that they made the
Oh,
show not fun anymore. They made the show not fun to review. Um, and that was part of the reason why I stopped reviewing it. I got tired of fighting with unreasonable people. I can't, you guys. The
Can
reality
I
of the
ask a
situation
question?
is, wait a minute, hold on. The reality of the situation is, I personally, I'm gonna speak for myself. I cannot like somebody and still be objective in how I talk about the show. But when people become so unreasonable that they don't even want you to say anything that is against their fave, I mean, you could say you didn't like the person's hairdo and they are ready to jump you. And I don't have the energy for that. So I think us as fans, we do also have to hold ourselves accountable for creating a toxic space for some of these shows. And Love and Marriage Huntsville
Right.
is definitely one of those shows. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, do you think that with that particular show's fandom, do you think it, because what I saw, at least what I think my own perception of it was that got worse during the pandemic when people were watching and they literally had nothing else to do. Everybody got like ultra invested in LAMH like that fandom did, and then it became insanely toxic. At least that's
I
my
I'm going to tell
recollection of things.
my opinion, and people ain't going to like this. What they say, you don't like this kind of teaching. People ain't going to like what I'm getting ready to say. I think part of the reason why Love and Marriage Huntsville became so toxic, I do think the pandemic was part of it. But I also think a lot of women, specifically Black women, saw their experience in male.
Mhm.
And they
That makes sense.
identified with that experience and they internalized that experience. And that is where I think a lot of that toxicity came from, because a lot of Black women see what happened to them and they see it in male, and they see male thriving, they see male doing well, and I that's just my opinion. And again, I know people ain't going to agree with it or like it, but that's my opinion.
I also think I think you're on the money there, but you know what I also think? I think um that maybe they don't realize that their fanaticism created more haters for that lady. I think because of the way that some people, not all of them, but how some people would react, like you said, don't allow for her, didn't even want to allow for her to be human, and for her to have, to receive critique, not even criticism, critique. I think that they made some of the people not like her. And I really don't think if you look into it, I don't think a lot of these people that can't stand her, I don't think it's her they can't stand. I think her fans made a lot of people, because the way that they went up for her, the way that they attacked people, the things that they said, and the fact that they didn't allow for her to be human, and her image to grow and grow on and grow in front of people. Because the lady, you can't tell me that one person can do as much things that it would take for these people to feel this vitriolic about her. I think the people attribute a lot of the things that have come from some of her more avid fans to her. And she may be, and saying, but I think, was it, I beat a, I like how she put it. Her fans made her unlikable, not necessarily, and that's
Yeah.
unfortunate for her. That's unfortunate for her, because she didn't do that, and a lot of the things that they attribute to her really is her fandom, and it
These
has made people
parasocial,
unlike her. Yeah, they made people unlike her, not like
yeah,
her.
these parasocial relationships that people have with reality TV stars, and that can definitely be exemplified in how people attach themselves to male. They're toxic and they're unhealthy, and it does get rise to the level with some of them to the level of fanaticism. And
Hmm.
then whenever you have a group of fanatics, you always gonna have somebody who swings in the opposite direction. So yeah, that's how you have these people who quote
Yeah,
unquote hate this lady that they never met, don't know, never will
because
meet.
yeah, there's not
Yeah, because
there's not a person in the world that could do enough for some of this hate that this lady gets.
Yeah.
right. And the thing is this, like, I'll speak for myself. Like, I don't hate Mel. I don't see Mel the same way a lot of other people see Melody, but I do not hate
Hmm.
Melody. But people have heard my story and why I feel the way I feel about Melody and all of that. But I agree. I think that the more the more of a pedestal you put this woman on, you are going to create people that want to tear her down. Now I
And
agree,
then
and
when
I'm
you
not
put
one of those
people on,
people.
yeah, when you put people on pedestals, all they got left to do is fall off it.
And
You put
then nine
That's
times out of
all that's left to
10,
do is to fall off.
when
Right.
she does something that her fandom doesn't like, whenever she gets to the point where she does something that her fandom doesn't like, they're going to be the ones trying to pull that pedestal down themselves, and so it's a
Ex-
dangerous thing,
and
in
then
my
they'll
opinion.
say, yeah, and then they'll be mad about her exalted on the pedestal when she didn't climb up there.
Yep,
Y'all picked the woman up and threw her up there. So
yep,
so that's why I said I'm starting to feel bad for her all the way around, because she's got the toxicity on the show. She's got the toxicity. And I understand her embrace of these people, because if I was going through the things that she's gone through publicly, and I feel like I have someone that's one person trying to ruin my reputation, and the other person committed to just ruining my life because I don't want him, I would embrace, because I would feel like I needed to be loved as well, and I would embrace that as well. But I think
and also it's
yeah,
profitable. Let's acknowledge that part too. She make money off them people too.
absolutely, and as she should.
Yeah,
Because
I ain't
again,
saying she shouldn't.
you know what I'm saying? All of these people need to understand, take advantage of these platforms and use them for what they're for, rather
And
than
that's why I like
making this,
Mel.
yeah, rather than making this man all of this money. Gets he is affecting your life negatively already. At least get what fucking I need to say, pay me for my pain.
Yep,
At least develop a way to get paid for your pain, instead of just enduring all this pain for nothing, because this
yep,
show is going to come to an end at some point. And if you haven't done something for yourself to be able to sustain yourself after it's over, you're in trouble, because now you are abundantly more unemployable. And
yep,
and your reach as an entrepreneur is going to be stained, because the stain of this show is going to be there. So if you've got to
like what
figure
happened
it
with
out.
Kenya.
Yeah, you got to figure it out. In my opinion, again, I think everybody has thrown low blows and punches, and I am sure, because we are all human, I've done it. Everybody's done it. So I'm sure Melody has done some stuff that she shouldn't have done, and she done said some stuff that she shouldn't have said. She done pulled some punches that she shouldn't have, because the woman is human. Just, I wish people would accept that, and then those that hate her realize that she's human, And she just like y'all, people lashing out at her, she's lashing back out. I just wish I wish it wasn't this way. I just wish it wasn't this way.
Yeah.
Because I think she's in danger.
Right.
I mean, I was stalked
Right.
before. I saw this as soon as it started happening. I recognized what I was seeing. I was stalked for 6 months. That is hell on earth. When you sleep, you dream about it. You never escape it. You never escape it.
Mm.
You question everyone around you. You question reality. You feel like you're going crazy. It is hell on earth to be stalked. And it's
Mm.
because
I'm sorry to hear that.
that person who is stalking you has lost all grip with reality at that point. And their singular focus is on you and either getting you back at first, and when that doesn't happen, destroying you. And
Mm.
they have lost all semblance of what the boundaries would be. The person you thought you knew no longer exists, and they become dangerous to you. This man tried to run me off the road into a line of trees and kill me. I see that coming
Mm.
for her. I see
Can I
that
say
coming
that
for
I'm
her.
glad, I'm happy that you survived that, because that's a horrible thing for a person to go through.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Uh,
wow. Wow. Wow.
I
Wow.
I thank you. I think that's why I have the empathy for her that I do, without the unreasonability of her, me not being able to say she's fallible, because she is.
Right.
Me not being able to say she's flawed, but I know what I'm looking at, and because I see it from a total, I know what I see. If this doesn't end and stop, he is going to hurt her. It is going to happen if something is not done. He's lost everything. He can't find his footing. It's been years now, and he still cannot find his footing. His personal life is in shambles, his professional life is in shambles, and all of that in his mind is tied to this one person. Whether she is true or not, whether she is a great person, whether she was horrible to him, he has tied his success and his failure to one person. And
Yep.
now he cannot control her. And because he cannot control her, he cannot control himself.
Yep. I'm about to hop off. I just wanted to
Yeah,
say
we can
just
already shut it
just
down. We can already shut it down.
cool.
Bab, thank you for
All
Okay.
coming
right.
up, boo. As always,
I'm
thank you
gonna
so
I'm
much,
gonna jump down
Andrew.
myself too. Love
No
you.
problem.
I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to
Thank you.
say real quick.
Go ahead, babe.
Just as a spinoff of what you were saying, Andrew. I think that what you said is spot on. And I think that as viewers, we need to make sure that we don't get to a point, the people who say that they quote unquote hate these people on the reality TV shows, that you don't get to the point where either you A, don't care that a woman is going through something like that,
Yeah.
or B, if something did happen to her to where you were sitting there, kind of happy as celebrating it. Don't get so invested in this stuff that you take away the humanity from these people. That's it.
Absolutely.
Right.
You said
Right.
it best. Do not remove hate her. If that's what you decided to do, keep continuing hate. But don't remove this woman's humanity to the point that you cannot admit that you're looking at a slow moving train, and that you cannot admit the truth, that you see what you're seeing, because we all see what we're seeing. We see what we see. We know what we're looking at, and we all know of somebody that this did not end well for. And this is not going to end well if
Right.
somebody doesn't step in and do something.
Yep.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'm
Thank y'all so
bouncing off,
much.
y'all.
Me too. Thank you,
All right, bye bye.
Lily.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, thank you guys for being here. Again, if you are whatever platform you're on, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please get subscribed. I have been paying attention to the chat. That's why I'm looking down. I'm reading the chat. I've been trying to put your comments up. I appreciate everybody's input, and I appreciate the fact that we can disagree respectfully in the chat and on the platform, even when we don't agree. So I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much. And with that being said, we're gonna get up off of here, and child, we'll see what comes next, because I feel like more will be said before it'll be taken away. All right, y'all have a good evening, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.